a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
Yeah. There's no mercy in this world, just hunger-thirsty persons in different versions. Each new update, that shit worsens. Why? Pull back the curtain and you'll see the different vermin. We all have different burdens that all seem to cause disturbance. Yo, so do me a favor, don't treat me like a neighbor. Don't need the different flavors.
Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to another Let's Be Real. It's been a long time awaited, out of market live play for the MLB. Obviously, haven't really done one in quite a while. Obviously, for not from specific reasons, obviously, was just focusing on other stuff. So, obviously, tonight we got the Minnesota Twins and the Seattle Mariners. Right now, the Mariners, they play some solid ball as of recently from what I've seen. And the Twins, well, they're just playing in probably one of the weakest divisions in baseball. But shout out to everybody that's been in the chat, though. I'll get to your comments in just a minute. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit that like button. Also, hit that subscribe button and make sure to ring that notification bell so you guys will not miss any of the new content coming to the channel. And that being said, we're going to get ready for underway because right now I just got to refix my scoreboard because my dumbass decided to freaking fuck everything up. So, and shit like that. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Boop, boop, boop. Give me once. What up, Steve? What's going on, Mitch? And what's going on, Ron? So we're still getting through warm-ups and stuff like that for... All right. Boop, 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 boop. So the Twins coming into this one at 48-47, taking on the Mariners right now, hosting Twins at 47-46. So both teams just barely hanging on to a. So at T-Mobile Park in Seattle, Washington. So it's gonna be a lot of fun tonight. All right, just. All right. So shout out to the 6 that's here right now on the stream. Do that. It'll be a lot of fun tonight. So shout out to the 7 total people that's in here. Definitely share this out. We'll greatly appreciate it. And we got Brian Wu to make it to the start tonight for the Seattle Mariners. All right, so What's going on? So we got Correa, Edward Julian hitting second, Kirilloff hitting third, Kepler third, Wallner hitting fourth, the designated hitter, switch hitter, Willie Castro playing center, hitting. Oh, God. So now I got to redo all of this. So just bear with me, guys. So shout out to everyone, though, man. Shout out to every single one of y'all. And Brian Wu coming in this one, 43 with 43 strikeouts to 9 was and 34 in the third 2/3 innings pitch for the Seattle Mariners, who for a team last year finally made breaking the postseason drought after two decades. But Wu coming into this year with the arsenal with a 4-seam fastball, sinker, cutter, slider, and the changeup. So a 4-seam at 50% of the time, with a sinker at 26.1%, slider at 13.3%, cutter at 6.2%. And obviously, the changeup is probably the occasional pitch. Honestly, NXT just has not been that fun to watch anyway. So that's why I started doing this. So yeah. And obviously J-Rod. So J-Rod is getting the day off tonight against the Twins. And get Carlos Correa to lead it off for Minnesota, who, to be quite honest, like I said, playing in a weak division. Then again, also look at the teams that they're playing against. I mean, teams like the White Sox, who've been, well, for a lack of a better term, been disappointing as hell. Currently, down by 5 to the New York Mets, and to be quite honest, I'm not surprised if that's the case. But regardless, we're going to get ready underway. And for Brian Wu, he kicks and deals the first pitch to Correa. That's swung on to the deep left center. That's going to drop in for a base hit for Carlos Correa. Already first pitch swinging, and we get the first hit on the board for the Minnesota Twins. Alrighty. So I gotta, okay. Because that was a 96-mile-an-hour heater right into the nitro zone for a right-handed hitter. Now we got Edward Julian, who actually in college, when he was playing at Auburn, actually was fun to watch. Hey, shit. Who doesn't love late night baseball? So I appreciate it. Not a problem. We got Edward Julian, and the first pitch is a bit low. 1 ball, no strikes to Julian so far. Maybe about less than half an inch. So 1 ball, no strikes to Julian. Overall in the series, 3 for 4 in the series against the Mariners. So for overall in a 5-game hitting streak, 10 for 16, 625 average, and swings and misses, strike 1 with 4 extra base hits and 3 RBIs to go along with that. Kirilloff at 96. I want to say it's odd, but it is kind of odd nowadays in this day and age. So that's 2 balls and a strike. But hey, if you want to get started going, like shit, for me, I'm the kind of guy that has no issues swinging at the first pitch. If you can get something to handle, sure, go right after it. That's just the way. That's kind of how my style of thinking is. All right, we've got the 2 balls and a strike, and the pitch by Wu. That's look out. Fouls off at 96. And it evens the count 2 balls, 2 strikes for Edward Julian. Even it's like I said, during his time at Auburn, he was kind of interesting to watch a little bit during his time in college. Explode the Red Dead 2. I pretty much finished it. Yesterday, actually. Funny enough, which is like late last night, so I did finish Red Dead 2. But I'm gonna try to, because I didn't realize I actually beat the game. So I mean, it's whatever, I guess. Regardless, the count still holds 2 balls, 2 strikes from Wu, and the pitch that is in there, called strike 3. That is strikeout number 1. for Wu. And just 96 right on the black. It's a possibility there, All-American Wrestling Show. It's a possibility that Drew can throw the Gunther at SummerSlam, but we have to wait and see because right now SummerSlam, it's not looking good. And the first pitch is inside. 1 ball, no strikes. So Alex Karloff, and last night again in this series, the only Twins batter did not have a strikeout last night. And the 1-0. That's a bit high, 2-0. So over Karloff this season hit 277 with 5 homers, 23 RBIs. I haven't gotten their explode, so I haven't really gotten to. I'm still on Epilogue Chapter 1, or Part 1, I would say. And the 2-0. It's a bit okay. That's high for strike 1, and it looks like Karloff didn't like that, but hey, according to the home plate umpire, it is a strike. And here comes the 2-1 by Wu. That's high at 95, 3-1. Yeah, we did take game 1 of the series against the Brewers. Nola still did his thing, trying to not be inconsistent. And we got the 3-1 pitch. And Wu kicks and deals. That's just misses inside for ball 4. That's going to put the runners on first and second with 1 out here at the top of the first. So it'll be Wu and will be opposed by Ober for the Minnesota Twins, both starters for tonight. So now we got Max Kepler overall hitting 214 with 13 homers, 33 RBIs for the Minnesota Twins. Yeah, Nola was on the bum. Actually pitched pretty well. Surprisingly, the dude was just inconsistent as hell, man. Well, I'm going to leave it at that. And the first pitch, and that's fouled off at 96. No balls and a strike. And the 0-1, that is in the dirt, and that gets by Raleigh, and that's going to be a pass ball to put runners on to move the runners up to second and third with less than 2 outs here at the top of the first. A little bit defensive issues early by Cal Raleigh trying to backhand it instead of try to not get in front of it. So the count's out 1 ball, 1 strikes. Max Kepler with WRC plus this season, 58 against lefties, 102 against righties. That's swung on a miss strike 2. Obviously, the MLB average for WRC plus is at 100, so that's kind of the stand. So Kepler is just an above average bat against righties. And the 1-2, and that's popped up, and that's going to be in the seats. And the 1-2 by Wu. And that's in the dirt. So good stop by Raleigh to keep that in front. So 2 balls, 2 strikes on Kepler. What's going on, Raphael? Maybe it's just my internet. So, I mean, just bear with me on that. All righty. I think I just may have too many tabs open. But regardless. And the 2-2. That's low, 3-2. So runs last night between the two teams, 7 for the Mariners, 6 for the Twins. The count's now 3 balls, 2 strikes. And the pitch by Wu. That is hit to straightaway left. And Pollock made the catch, and that's going to bring in the first run of the game. And the Twins take an early 1-0 lead over the Seattle Mariners. We're now with 2 outs here at the top of the first, with Wu already up to 19 total pitches for the Mariners. We got Matt Wallner. And the first pitch has popped up, and that's going into the seats. God damn, my eye itches. Shit.
Yeah, it's a really interesting question because it's also the time where you might need to get that pitch as well. So you go back and forth, but I think we talk about our catchers. Sometimes you might have to go.
And that's low, 1 ball, 1 strike on Wallner. We're at the number 5 hitter for the Minnesota Twins.
As a catcher with that runner at third base, you just have to be so aggressive to keep that ball in front of you.
And the 1-1. And that's swung and a miss, strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So Pollock. And we get time. We get time called by Warner, his lone time out in this plate appearance. Oh God. There we go. And just bring this up on screen. Oh, sorry about that. There we go. And the 1-2, and that hits him. That's going to put runners on first and second. Well, there's still 2 men gone here in the top of the first for Walter. So let me kind of get this actually zoomed. Nope. There we go. And we are good right here. Kind of look like got him on the hand. And now we got Willie Castro coming up for the Twins. Already Wu up to 23 pitches here in the first. And obviously Minnesota kind of working him a little bit here in the first. So last 6 starts for Brian Wu, a 2.20 ERA, 176 opponent average, and 4.9 strikeout to walk ratio. And the first pitch, that's in there right down the middle at 96 for strike 1 to Willie Castro. Overall hit 234 with 5 homers, 18 RBIs here on the 2023 season for the Twins. Now the 1, that is chock foul, no balls, 2 strikes. Counts now 0-2. Willie Castro season was running to scoring position 270 with a homer and 12 RBIs on this season so far. Overall 25.8% K rate, and the average is at 22.7, well above the major league average. And the 0-2. That is chopped into right. That's going to be in foul territory, right into the seats. So Castro still lives to see another pitch for the Twins here in the first.
You see it sneak back on. About middle of the plate. So a lot of these left-handers last night, Dave, going the other way as well, especially in those RBI situations.
So it counts out no balls, 2 strikes still.
Castro in his first year with
And for pitch number 27 by Wu, kicks and deals. And that is dumped to the center field for another base hit. And the throw home, and it's not in time. That's going to put run number 2, a early 2-0 lead. So an RBI double by Willie Castro. I'm sorry, that's a single, and also he advances on the throw.
fastball inside again, and it's about belt high.
Yeah, that's the Twins and Mariners last night. 9 of 12 combined RBIs came with 2 outs last night.
Ty France was looking to make the cutoff and get that runner going to third.
Yeah, just completely missed the cutoff.
Couldn't make the play. Kyle Farmer. He's at third base tonight.
Yeah,
Runners at second.
so we still got runners to second and third. That's a bit low for strike 1 to Kyle Farmer. No balls and a strike. And according to the K zone, it did clip the zone.
Farmer, 7-year veteran's been with the Dodgers in Cincinnati. First year here with Minnesota.
And the 0-1. That is swung to miss strike 2 at 96. Blew it right by him.
Good fastballs right there. A 2-seamer to start him at the bottom of the zone. And then a 4-seamer just splits that outside corner.
So Kyle Farmer played for three teams in a major league career: the Dodgers, the Reds, and now currently with the Twins.
Trying to get out of this inning. 0-2.
And the 0-2. And called strike 3.
Got his second 7 minutes of the play. 2 runs.
And we're going to the bottom of the second with 2 runs coming across here in the top of the first. So bottom first we go. Just do this. So bottom first we go for the Mariners offense. Are we down early? Yeah, sports gambling is legal over in the Philadelphia area. For those who are wondering. Very good question, though, Steve. But overall, yeah, it's legal over here. I mean, especially for me who lives here in Jersey with, Atlantic City with a bunch of casinos and stuff like that, but regardless, so we're going to the bottom of the second. Now for the start lineup for the Seattle Mariners, you got JP Crawford leading off, Eugenio Suarez hitting second, Jarred Kelenic hitting third, Cal Raleigh, the cleanup hitter, hitting fourth, Teoscar Hernandez hitting fifth, Ty France, the first baseman, hitting sixth, Mike Ford, the designated hitter, hitting seventh, AJ Pollock eighth, and then you got Caballero hitting ninth for the Mariners, who already a little bit down early, but still easy. Could be an easy enough deficit to overcome. But I'll do it from time to time and all that good stuff. So, yeah. So far, like I said, I should start getting back into doing some of these other MLB games because I haven't really been put off for a while. So obviously with J. Rod getting the night off for the Mariners. I actually didn't also put out a really nice home run derby performance. It's kind of ironic that he did the exact same thing, I think last year and knocked out Pete Alonso. That's kind of, but the first pitch is in there at 91 by Ober for strike 1, and we're. So overall, Bailey Ober, 14 starts, 5-4 record with a 2.61 ERA, with 82 and a 2/3 innings pitched, with 18 walks to 79 strikeouts. Now the count's now 0-2 off that breaking ball to JP Crawford. Overall hit 255 with 8 homers, 33 RBIs, and the 0-2 is down to the dirt. Looking at changeup 1 ball, 2 strikes on JP Crawford. And the 1-2. That is low. Look like a slider. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Overall, career-wise against Bailey Ober for Crawford, 2 for 4. And as a Phillies fan, well, I couldn't be happy, but let's move on from that. And that is a loud foul ball. Football for sure. I might try to do some bets this year. Never going to try to do the NBA again because you never know how that goes on. Because last year I had it all going for NBA, and that is lighted as left center for a base hit for JP Crawford. Already a leadoff single for Crawford, working out a nice at bat, a 6-pitch at bat against Billy Ober. So Ober coming into the tonight with a pitch arsenal with a 4-seam fastball, a changeup, slider, curveball. His 4-seamer, he pretty much is primarily fastball at 44% of the time, and everything pretty much comes secondary. I think his changeup comes second for Billy Ober tonight. So from the outfield, you got Gallo, Castro, and Kepler. And the first pitch, that is fouled back by Suarez. Took a really nice hack at 92. Oh, he just took a really big hack at it. So no balls and a strike for Eugenio Suarez. For those Reds fans, I mean, I don't know how the hell did you move on from this dude. He actually gave you some good years with the Reds, if I have to really admit that. And the 0-1, that is inside, 1 ball, 1 strike to Suarez. So far, second game this season, batting second in the order for Suarez, because usually he's mostly, I would say, third, fourth, sometimes occasionally an occasional 5th spot in the lineup. That's kind of where he's at most of the time. Oh, son of a bitch. Stinking MLB app fucking... My apologies. Freaking the MLB app fucking closed out on me for whatever. Oh my God. Hang on a second, guys. My apologies, guys. I'm having a little bit of technical issues, so just bear with me just one moment. course, I forgot my mic was muted. So, like I said, my apologies for all the fucking technical issues. So, fucking technology nowadays, man, it fucking sucks. But regardless, the game's tied at 2 because apparently I missed a lot. Apparently, while I'm fucking all that shit up. And the first pitch swung and a miss by Hernandez. No balls and a strike by Hernandez. So overall 1 for 4 with a homer against Bailey Ober. This and a quick throw over. Oh, goddamn. Hey, you ain't wrong, Steve. Like I said, I'm looking forward to the Flyers this year, which is kind of ironic to say because I only did 1 game, and that is swung on a foul tip. I'm sorry, that's going to be. It really is going to be interesting. The fact that he fell to us at 7 is surprising because there was talks about with the Flyers, with Danny Briere and the Flyers actually trading up to get Michkov, but we had some teams reaching on some prospects, and the fact he fell in our laps at 7 with Oliver Bonk at 22, which is also great as well. I can't wait. So Bailey Ober, go back to this game right now. Last night starts has received 8 total run support. Runs and for run support from the Twins, and 0-2, and that's way outside of the other batter's box. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Vasquez behind the plate. He's a veteran. 11 out of 41 thrown runners out. It's about 27%, which is above the average of 21% in the big leagues.
It counts from 1 ball, 2 strikes, and another quick throw over. Almost. Try to get Cal Raleigh leaning, or sorry, that's Jarred Kelenic leaning, but it ain't gonna happen. It's not happening.
6'9". He's quick and pretty athletic, getting it over there. Had to have been a pretty good basketball player at 6'9", he would hope. 1-2.
And the 1-2. And that's going to be up the middle for a base hit for Teoscar Hernandez, and Kelenic will have to put the brakes on. So we got runners on first and second with 1 man going here in the bottom of the first. So both pitchers right now with some very almost high pitch counts, well, mostly for Brian Wu anyways, almost like a 30-plus pitch first inning. And now we got the first baseman, Ty France, now coming up with an opportunity to add more insurance runs on for the Mariners. Here at the bottom of the first and the first pitch. That is taken for strike 1. Already 0 for 3 in this so far this series for France. Yeah, that swung on him as strike 2. It's the same thing. I mean, I don't know about the attitude problem, but I think I would say, I think Torch will get that straightened out when the time comes. And the thing is, too, Steve, is another guy that we could have had Fedotov, but we pretty much the KHL didn't want to honor his contract. So pretty much the Flyers said, say screw it. So we got another guy, another Russian goaltender on an entry level contract. So we're bringing him in. And the 1-2. That has popped up, and that's going in the seats. I mean, I'm saying I wouldn't be surprised if that actually, since that happened on my wrestling show. It was going to get to the point where Wesley, it was going to drop the belt eventually.
Sliced into the stands, into the J-Rod squad area. 1-2 to tie.
And that's up high 2-2 to Ty France.
Mariners need to lay off of tonight, and Ty did a nice job there laying off that one. Boy, what a contrast from last night. Sonny Gray, his arsenal seemed like it was
And the 2-2. And French dumps that into the left. 1 run scores. Here comes another. That's going to drive in 2. And, Correa throws him out as the home. But Teoscar said he's safe. And just a hanging slider right down the middle. Yeah, I didn't. Hey, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I mean, you got time to mature. I mean, what's he like, 18? Then again, who isn't immature at 18? Yeah, he got him right on the money. So we got 2 outs with a runner on second after an RBI double. And the first pitch is on the backdoor breaking ball for strike 1 to Mike Ford. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. I agree with you there, Steve. And speaking of which, today it marks 31 years ago that we actually, I think, we made a trade for Eric Lindros. So we pretty much, and this is at the time with your Colorado Avalanche there, Steve, or what's known to be the Nordiques, and that's going to drop it, going for a base hit. France around third, heading for the plate, and he is tagged out. That's going to be out number 3. Yeah. The top of the second, we come to a top of the first comes to a close. Even though Negron, you should have kept him on the base pass. So, obviously, 31 years ago today, we made a trade with the Nordiques, or at the time, for those who remember it, before the Avalanche where they came to Colorado as the Avalanche. So we sent over Peter Forsberg, Ron Hextall, Steve Duchesne, Kerry Hoffman, Mike Ritchie, Chris Simon, $15 million in cash, and also 2 first-rounders, one in 1993 and 1994. In 93, that became Jocelyn Tybalt, and in 1994 became Nolan Baumgartner, and the Flyers will get the enforcer, Eric Lindros. Now, it's unfortunate because I don't really remember much of Eric Lindros, mostly on his latter half of his career, which is kind of crazy. But yeah. All righty. So July 11, 2023, the National League wins the All-Star Game for the first time since 2012, which is crazy as that sounds because, man, the enforcer, I mean, actually, it's some pretty good years with us. Even though, like I said, I don't remember much of his prime years. I'm trying to get a former Flyer on, Brian Propp. I'm just trying to get him on for some Flyers discussion. Because I want to try to. Yeah, I mean, I could imagine the kind of player that he is. I mean, especially hockey players like him don't come around as often as they used to back in the day. I mean, you had a couple in this year's draft who were there's some big boys. Like there was like one dude was like 6'5", 245. It's like, man, you don't see hockey players like that anymore because you pretty much you see more speed and finesse with that. But jeez, then again, whatever. So now we got top of the second. So we got Joey Gallo, Vasquez. We got Gallo, Vasquez, and the top of the order with Correa to do up the second and the first pitch. Gallo takes it in there for strike 1 at 93. That's in there, strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes to Joey Gallo. And the 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3 at 96. And that is strikeout number 3 for Brian Wu. and just blew right by him.
Exploit that up and in. Really nice pitch. 40+% strikeout percentage. Here's Christian Vasquez.
And then for Vasquez, takes the first pitch and chops it up the middle. It'll be a tough play. That's going to be... And Vasquez gets thrown out for out number 2.
This time with Houston, last time they faced the Astros. They beat your T-Mobile Park for marquee matchups all season long, including a 3-game set against the Red Sox Monday on July 3rd.
And then the Mariners will...
August 2. Lock in those seats today at Mariners.com. Enjoy a great summer outing right here at the ballpark.
Shout out to everyone that's actually been in the chat or just tuning in or just finding the stream. So the Boston Red Sox this season, in terms of team ranks, they have a 107 WRC plus, which is 9th in Major League Baseball, averaging 5.1 runs per game, which is 5th, and also they're 17th in the league in team EMRA. Overall, 51-44 this season, which is 4th in the AL East, and Correa takes that low for ball 1. Obviously, first time up with a leadoff single on a first pitch swinging to kick off the top of the first. And the 1-0, that's in there at 96. Evens the count, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Good to see those gentlemen taking some infield, cold number 17. Taking infield, taking batting practice today. Boy, they have a lot of eyes on their front office.
That's a bit, in there for strike 2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes to Correa. And the 1-2. And that's outside. 2-2 to Correa. Yeah, I did not know that about the hockey team. Yeah, and the Rockies, well, oh boy. I mean, besides 2008, well, I mean, when the Colorado Rockies actually put together a really good team that year. Speaking of which, that'd be interesting to see what. And ever since then, it's just like the Rockies just cannot get it straight. I mean, you had Charlie. I mean, now you got a longest senior Rocky, Charlie Blackmon. You got Chris Bryant. You know, hopefully he stays healthy. Even that contract's kind of looking god awful at the moment. But the count's 3 now full on Correa. See the roster for the Colorado Rockies. I mean, you had Todd Helton, got Ubaldo Jimenez, and the 3-2. That's chopped on the ground, right back to Wu, and that's going to be thrown out for out number 3. So 1, 2, 3 go with the Twins. Yep, and the Quebec Nordics became the Colorado Avalanche, and you know, first year won the Stanley Cup. Yeah, Dante, but yep, got. So overall, Jesus. Right. Somebody said Daniel Dowd. Was it or 07? I think he had a really good season that year. I can't think of the life of me. Because yeah, Galarraga. Well, like the dude with the multiple, probably the quirkiest batter that I've ever seen in my young life as a baseball fan. Yeah, that's right. You won in 07. Not too shabby, though. 90 and 73. Got it. Yeah, what? Who the? Let me get Jorvic Toralbo. Good God. Yeah, I know Larry Walker. Even though it's before my time, Todd Helton. I mean, still the dude was just phenomenal. God, Toralba. God, I haven't heard that name in years. Helton, and this was the 07. You had Katsuo, Matsui, Troy Tulowitzki in this at 22. A young Garrett Atkins, Matt Holliday, Willie Tavares, Brad Hawpe. God, Brad Hawpe, I think the most underrated guy that I remember on little bit of those Rockies teams. Yeah, you did. Guys had a really good squad. It's just the pitching side was just like, where the fuck? Speaking of that, in terms of your your 07 rotation had to go with Jeff Francis, Aaron Cook, Josh Fogg, Jason Hirsch, Osvaldo Jimenez, and Rodrigo Lopez. In terms of your bullpen, anyways, you had Jorge Julio with LaTroy Hawkins, even though Jeremy Affeldt probably the dude was Mr. Longevity at the time. Manny Corpus and Brian Fuentes at the back end of that bullpen. All right, so Bailey over, hard hits allowed in the first inning. Suarez at 105.5, Kelly 100.6, Hernandez at 103.8, France at 108 and at 0.5, and Ford at 104.7, and that would be popped up to right behind the first base bag, and that's going to be caught by Kirilloff for out number 1. A little bit too dicey on that first pitch. I got Jose Caballero, and then we got the top of the order waiting on deck for the Mariners and J.P. Crawford. Overall, hit 230 with 3 homers, 21 RBIs for Caballero. And the first pitch takes it in on the outside corner for strike 1 at 91. And the 0-1. That is on the outside corner, strike 2 on a slider. So Caballero's already 1 for 3 overall in this series. Oh wow, that's cheap. That's funny. And be a time called here by Caballero, already down 0-2. And the 0-2. That is a bit outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. To Caballero. And that's a bit outside. 2-2. And that's way outside. 3-2. And the 3-2. And Caballero to right center. And that's going to drop in for a base hit. That might be extra bases. And Caballero slides in head first and it gets in there safely with a leadoff double, with a 1-out double for the Seattle Mariners.
It down and it drops in front of Willie Castro, turns and throws. Attack by Correa. He does get the foot of Caballero, but the hand already in there. And as you mentioned, a hustle double from Jose Caballero.
And now we got J.P. Crawford, who has singled his first time up, takes the first pitch inside, 1 ball, no strikes from Bailey Ober. Overall, up to 34 total pitches so far through an inning in the third. That's in there at 91. 1 ball, 1 strike.
He is flirting with that line right there at second base as well. He did that last night. Yeah, he did. 1-1 on acreage between the end of third base.
Overall this season with a 121 WRC plus, that's way above average. And that is foul. Well, to be honest, Steve, I haven't been to Philly in, let's be real, since before Mother's Day. The only time I ever go there is to a Phillies game. That's pretty much about it. I mean, if you want to go there, you can try, Sporting Goods is actually pretty nice to check out from time to time. If you want to get like a cheesesteak for me, I always go to like the Tony Luke's and stuff like that. check out some of these smaller shots, but don't like fall for the Pat and Geno's tourist trap bullshit that they do. But they did it, and that's kind of fun too. You can also check out Independence Hall as well, which is if anyone wants a history, and wants to study the history of the original capital of the United States in Philadelphia before Washington D.C. was even a thing. So that's just the way that's kind of from my personal experience over the years. And the 1-2 that is chopped on the ground, and that's going to move the runner over to third. But however, that's going to be 2 outs here, and the bottom of the second.
As Twitter Tuesday continues, here's your second chance to win. Use hashtag RoadQ2 and tell us how many relief pitchers Mariners will use in tonight's game for your chance to win 2 tickets to rock out with Iron Maiden on August 11th at Snoqualmie Casino. 2-run homer, 1.
And the first pitch is swung on a miss, strike 1 by Eugenio Suarez. Yeah, Philadelphia was the original capital of the United States way before Washington D.C. was even conceived. So, little American fun fact for that. And that is up high, 1 ball, 1 strike to Suarez. Overall, 228, 13 homers, 56 RBIs.
Bruce Dickinson of Iron Maiden. This is a cover band, Iron Maidens.
And the 1-1, that is outside, 2-1. Just Suarez, who is 1 for 1 tonight, as well for the Mariners.
Gino 2-1, 2 out. Caballero at third.
And the 2-1, that's swung and missed. Even the count, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Yeah, I think the Liberty Bell is still there. Like I said, I haven't really been to any. The last time I took a history trip to Philadelphia is it feels like years ago. So I mean, the only time I was like 6th grade, if I'm going to be quite honest. That is swung on a miss, strike 3, and that's going to be strikeout number 2 for Bailey Oberts. So top of the third we go. The Mariners still hold a 3-2 lead going into the top of the third. All right. All right. So it's been an interesting game so far through 2 innings of play. Currently, 1-1 game. You have the Mariners with 3 runs and 7 hits, and with the Twins, obviously, like I said, barely right now 1 game above 500 in the weak AL Central with the Guardians, the pitiful Royals, the Tigers, who are been god awful. And obviously, you still got the abysmal Chicago White Sox. And, well, that's not really saying much. And I just feel like both. I mean, Ken Griffey, even though it's kind of ironic, my favorite Seattle Mariner growing up as a kid was Ichiro. It just slap singles all day. Like, that's something that I like to see. Even though at times, like, he would, like, the fact he hit that power, he knew he would have every so often. And obviously, with the rocket of an arm for a guy of his size, it is something special. And you know what? I was going to give it to, prime King Felix in 2012. I think that over time, ever since then, the Mariners has been like, you still had Randy Johnson at the time, or along with Ken Griffey Jr. and Craig Griffey Sr. That's from what I've read about, anyways, because that's before my time. Because I was born in '97. And Wood to start off the third with the first pitch called strike at the knees. No balls and a strike to Edward Julian. Overall, so far early, 0 for 1 with the strikeout back in the first. And the 0-1 that is lined up the middle for a base hit. So Julian's now 1 for 2 so far in this ball game for the Twins. Yeah, Ichiro, for me it was always Ichiro to kick off the lead, because for me I didn't really get into baseball probably in the early 2000s, right past the steroid era. Or I would say beginning of the steroid era, if I remember correctly. I mean, you saw Kurt Schilling, I think, with a bloody sock. I remember the reverse sweep by I think with the Red Sox. I mean, I've seen some memorable moments throughout my entire life as a baseball fan. And the first pitch is outside, 1 ball, no strikes. And I remember, in 2006, where I think we had Utley coming up. We also had Rollins coming up as well. We had when Howard, I think, came up earlier in 2004. And we still had guys like David Bell, Kevin Millwood, catcher, I think it was Mike Lieberthal, if I remember correctly. Good Lord, those are the teams that, I would say weren't bad, but they just weren't great. And that's not saying much, but I mean, we had a really good 2007 season, and then 2008, that's when we really popped off, and won it all. And ever since then, we just have a hard time getting. Well, we never really had a hard time. Well, getting back ever since then, except for last year. Hey, Kirilloff to hits it to straightaway left, and over the fence it goes, and we got a tie ball game at 3 apiece. Or sorry, a 2-run shot. So the Twins retake the lead on a 2-run shot by Alex Kirilloff here in the top of the third. Overall, almost a 99.5 exit field off the bat at 34-degree launch angle. Went 365 to straightaway left. So a good oppo taco for Killiard or for Kirilloff. And shoo, it disappears, and the Twins bullpen. So overall, the Twins are 8th in home runs, while the Mariners are just 14th, and the first pitch is low. 1 ball, no strikes for Brian Wu. And the 1-0, it's a bit high, 2-1-0. And here comes the 2-0 pitch by Wu. That is popped out into the seats. 2 balls and a strike by Max Kepler. And scoring around the league, you had the Diamondbacks winning that slug out against the Braves, 16-13. Jesus Christ! And here comes the 2-1. I actually do like that. Oh yeah, I mean I respect that. Even though we haven't really done much, in quite a while. But we got the 3-1 by Wu. That's a bit high for strike 2. Well, that's a ball for. Okay, well that's ball 4 apparently. I thought that was a strike 2, but that's be another walk issued by Brian Wu. And obviously, Brian. I mean, at this point, something's got to give for the Mariners. And the first pitch is high. 1 ball, no strikes at 95 to Matt Wallner. Here in the top of the third, it's a 1-run game, 4-3 for those who are just coming in. But I like that though, Steve. Obviously, last plate appearance got hit by a pitch. Overall, 350 average, 1 homer, 4 RBIs. Yeah, we're way overdue, Steve. Could have had an opportunity. However, if it weren't for Jonathan, or was it Patrick Kane, if I remember correctly, with the overtime goal, which fucking ended our season right then and there, you son of a bitch. But I ain't gonna not hear from Patrick Kane. But I'm still pissed that we could have had an opportunity to finally snap that into what 2010, 2011, somewhere around that range. But man, I'm still aggravated from that. Even though, like I said, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a diehard Flyers fan, but I'll watch them from time to time just to see, and stuff like that. But with the way that Danny Briere has been doing it so far this all season has been kind of getting me interested back at it again with Flyers hockey. The dude, for an undersized forward, can hit you like a ton of breaks from what I remember, and the dude was just phenomenal, a really good player. That's over the days like Ray Emery was still around. I mean, like I said, bits and pieces of Eric Lindros in this later half of his career. And stuff like that. But yeah, we're way over. I mean, what, 50? What's it been? I got to do some math on that. We're 48 years overdue. And pop up, and Crawford will make the catch for out number 1. That's pitch number 56 by Brian Wu. And the first pitch is low. 1 ball, no strikes. To Willie Castro. Yeah, 48 years, way overdue there, Steve. It's been rough. And that is it. Shot to the left for a base hit. That is 2 for 2 for Willie Castro to go along with that RBI single. Hey, good old Hank Conger, man. That's the first base coach for the Twins. Just a really good piece of hitting by Willie Castro to shoot it to the left because no one was really there. And now we got Kyle Farmer for his second play appearance against Brian Wu, who's been, I would say, not great, but isn't terrible. And the first pitch, and Farmer to straight away center. That's being caught for out number 2. And Kepler will advance to third on the play. Now we got Joey Gallo his first time up, struck out swinging, even though then again that's no surprise because the dude has more strikeouts than he does anything. And when you looked at his baseball reference, I mean the dude, there was a few seasons where he's had over 200 plus strikeouts in the season, which that's nothing you don't want to have, in my honest opinion. But who am I to say? And that is fouled back at 95, no balls on the strike. Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, I do definitely agree with that there, Steve. But overall, like I said, we're almost 5 decades too late for a fucking Stanley Cup, which would be nice for a change. At least. So, yeah, I mean, when I looked at that roster, just playing around with, just looking at different hockey rosters and just seeing the 1995 Colorado Avalanche, it's like, man, what could that team? I mean, had it all, like you said. I mean, taking it from you, of course, because like I said, I don't know. Like I'm not like a diehard hockey fan as the next person, and that's a bit inside 1 ball, 1 strike to Joey Gallo. Maybe about off the plate, not by much. I'll see about a half an inch is where you're going to really get really much. So the Twins, they're 26th in stolen bases and 29th in attempts. And that's going to be scored another run for the Twins off the arrow throw by Cal Raleigh. So that's going to be another that's going to be a stolen base for Willie Castro. So 5-3, the Twins lead the Mariners here in this series.
You can see Cal's going to have to reach for this one inside a little bit. And sometimes that can throw off your timing and your footwork. And you can tell
That's just very unfortunate.
with himself right there. 5-3 Minnesota here in the third. 2-1 to Gallo.
And that's been inside apparently on the inside corner, 3-1.
Right here, 3-1.
And the 3-1, and that is popped out of play.
Gallo does not cheat himself with those swings. Joey in his ninth big league season.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that 0-1 team. Then again, like I said, that's kind of shows how much I know I've been out of hockey for years. And the 3-2 pitch, and that's outside ball 4, and that's going to be another walk issued by Wu, this time to Joey Gallo.
So runners at first and second. Pete Woodruff going to make another visit to pitching coach. And things really getting away from Wu. This is the 8th batter to the plate here in the third inning. Yeah, pitch count now up to 65 pitches with 2 outs in the third. Really, it's been that fastball, the four-seamer especially, where he's just been having trouble keeping it in the strike zone. A lot of pitches up above the zone and then wide.
And we're getting quit on the quick.
Right now it's all on Wu. Nobody
Ray Borg. Top of a stellar name for that.
Last night when Logan Gilbert was scuffling and Scott Service went up and said, hey man, we need you to go 5. You better get that fastball working. A little better command of it. Right now, Wu needs to make an adjustment as well. 5-3. Give Logan a lot of credit last night. He didn't have his best stuff, but he still gave 5 good innings for the Mariners. Gave that offense a chance. Runners at first and second for Vasquez. He grounded out to JP.
So Wu already in the first pitch, and that's inside at 95. No balls in the strike. To Christian Vasquez, already 0 for 1, ground out back in the second.
Mariners head through with the 3 spot. Eugenio Suarez, 2-run homer. Now 3 on the board here, top 3.
And the pitch. That is swung and a miss at 94 for strike 2.
There's that four-seamer right there. That's a really good pitch, and that's the one he's been looking for, that he's been missing with. And really what that does, Dave, it sets up everything else, the cutter, the slider. Once he finds command of that, then he'll be able to use his other stuff more effectively.
That is chopped foul. Still holds no balls, 2 strikes on Christian Vasquez. Oh, yeah, that was a really good run, though. Even though I know a lot of it, I will say this too, Steve. I know I've seen a lot of, the Oilers fans kind of talking a lot of shit. I will have to say that. Calgary, I mean, they could have been a lot better. And quite frankly, though, I think it's at times, and I think in Tampa Bay, I had a feeling their run was going to come to an end sooner rather than later. And that's fouled off at no balls and 2 strikes. And that's the thing, too, with the Tampa Bay Lightning, and as good as they were, even though I don't know they're going to be good this year, I still think they're going to be a decent team, but not to what they once were, last year. And some of their Stanley Cup years as well. It's just, once you sold you sell out pretty much for a championship. A lot of times you'll just fight the repercussions. And obviously you saw that with the Lightning losing a lot of key pieces in the all season as well. And I think this all season last year as well, or something like that. I could be wrong. Well, and definitely too. I mean, Colorado, let's bro. I would say, I actually, even though I didn't really watch the NHL finals, as much like especially last year. I mean, technically with the best playoff run that I've seen a hockey team ever have. minus the Vegas Golden Knights. Well, I'm not really saying much, but I mean, it was good for the Avalanche to get the Rock, and that's going to be swung at him in strike 3. And however, the inning comes to a close, and that is going to be the 4th strikeout for. So now we got to go to the home third after a quick commercial break. Oh yeah, and that was just that just was just icing on the cake. Just taking the just winning the Stanley Cup on their home ice. And that's the way I've always looked at it. I mean, I think you guys had a better, let's be a much better team. You still had Darcy Kemper. Even though losing him in the offseason was a big loss. I think you still got, and you still got some solid pieces. I will have to admit, it's just like you lost some of those key crucial pieces from that Stanley Cup team, which I would say not make or break it, but could be interesting to see where this Avalanche team stands. And no, I'm gonna not say they were bad in this last season, but like I said, losing Darcy Kemper, you're probably your best goaltender that you had. And then I'm trying to think else. Who else did you freaking lose? I can't think of it at the moment, but but it's interesting to see. Going to be it's going to be see what the Avalanche is going to be looking like this year. I know for us, I think realistically, if I'm going to have to put an amount of games that my Flyers probably win, I would say between like 30 to 35 games at most. And that's just kind of being realistic because it's like, I don't think they're not going to be super terrible. They might win like 20 to 25 games. Yeah, Florida didn't really make sense to me. Vegas, I always had them as a cup winner, but I wanted like more than just what the Florida Panthers were giving you. I mean, shit, you had. I haven't got to rewatch that run by Florida. I wouldn't say it was horrible, but I feel like we could have had better expectations of a realistic team, besides the Florida Panthers making it to the Stanley Cup final. To match up with Vegas, because I think Vegas is always going to be a consistent cup contender for years to come. But a team like Florida, not in my eyes, but that's high for strike 1 from Bailey Ober. And even though that looks ball 1 according to the K zone, but that's who am I to say? I'm just a general hockey schmuck, for a lack of a better term. And now Callan going down, no balls, 2 strikes, all of a sudden. First time I was single back in the first and also scored the first run. And that's what I'm saying. Like, not just the score, it's the matchup. That's what it did it for me. It's like you have an ace in the Florida Panthers, and let's be real. If you look at the roster, that's nobody's on that roster is really standing out to me, in my honest opinion. And to be quite honest, I mean, I'm surprised how nobody ever, well, then again, I mean, look, the score was horrible, but I do think the Vegas Golden Knights proved, or I would say not proved, but they go up high. He holds up the counts even, 2 balls, 2 strikes. But like I was saying, but the Vegas Golden Knights, I think with the way that they put that exclamation point on those Cup Finals, it kind of tells me, like, say, you don't belong here. That's the way I look at it, and that's called strike 3. That is strikeout number 3 for Bailey Ober, and just barely clips the corner. I did like Eichel. He's the one guy that for me on this team that team could have stayed healthy. You also have Marchessault. Sorry, Nick, if you're a Vegas Knight fan, I hope I'm not butchering that, because I thought he was another one that's been very spectacular, and that has popped up, and that's going to be an easy can of corn for Alex Kirilloff for out number 2. So two quick outs here in the bottom half of the third. That's a 5-3 ball game for the Minnesota Twins. I did like Jack Eichel, though, and I did like how they really put. And obviously, even though I would say 2018, I definitely would have liked to see him win the Cup. Even though, let's be real, I always hated the Washington Capitals, because I always think they're always an overrated team, because that's my division rival. But I mean, look, it's kind of hard not to hate Ovechkin. Oh, that's way inside, 1 ball, no strikes. It's kind of really take a chuck, or to Kachuk. My apologies. And Stone played well as well. I will say Florida had some nice players. I mean, right now the biggest, I guess you can say the biggest star on that roster is Kachuk. Well, I mean, you gotta have to give where credit is due. The dude, if you want to play through an injury, try to win a cup, shit. It's kind of hard nowadays. It's like seems some athletes not want to play through an injury. What I think I think it might have been like a lower body injury or something like that, or whatever it was he was dealing with. But man, really gutted through it. That's outside 2 balls on the strike. But we did pick up one guy. It was a match. I don't know exactly who we picked up, but regardless, I wish that this year's finals. Oh, that's popped up. That is sky high into the seats. 2 balls to even the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. On Teoscar Hernandez, who singled his first time up so far tonight for the Seattle Mariners. Still, and that is swing and a miss, strike 3. That is strikeout number 4. And that ends the bottom half of the third. Top 4th we go. But I will say, it's kind of fun actually talking some hockey a little bit, even though I want to give my opinion on it. Even though haven't really watched it as much this past season. Basketball, I don't know. I don't know if I even want to do any Sixers content this year, especially how that team has really kind of put themselves in a fucking hole. But that's besides the point. But yeah, I appreciate that. As well. Well, yeah, like I said, Sixers content, maybe that's up in the air if we don't really look too bad, but I don't know. Definitely you're going to see a lot more Eagles content because that's going to be can't wait to be doing a lot. I'm just pretty much going to do most of the games this year, which is going to be great to see. And there are going to be times where I might actually do all games too. And then you'll see a string of videos of me doing like top 10 power rankings each and every week. So, obviously I did for those who have not seen, I did the preliminary edition, I would say, I guess you could say, of the early season power rankings going into this year for a lot of 32 NFL teams. Now I will have to admit it was long. That shit was long to me. The editing process was a pain in the ass. Ryan Eads. Right. Let me see. I think Ryan. So Ryan Eads currently, he is, let me see right now. Right now, let's see. So yeah, so last year, Ryan Eads is retired. Yeah, so Ryan Eads retired last year, after 2022. Yeah, Mark Stahl. That's who I couldn't think it was. But we're trying to. I mean, not so much. You have to really look at the way that what we're doing. We had the salary dump, a guy like Provorov, and let's be real, he was one of the guys, and that's going to be ground out too short for out number 1 already for Correa. But if he got a ring, no, actually he did not. He did not get a ring, unfortunately. Like he started with the Twins, then went to the Baltimore Orioles off waivers, was optioned to AAA Norfolk, and then obviously signed a minor league contract with the Houston Astros at the time in 2021 with rookie ball and the AAA. Struggled with a 7.71 ERA with 12 strikeouts, and went to the independent ball with Lancaster Barnstormers. May 27th, 2022, he announced his retirement via Instagram. So that's kind of pretty much Ryan Eads in the nutshell. And here comes the 0-1 to Julian. Yeah, well, that's like I said, I don't really keep a track. Keep him really keep much up on it, but definitely I'm definitely going to try to bring back Between the Lines podcast very soon with my buddy Tyler. We got to get more baseball talk in here. Speaking of which, I do have another episode of the Phillies Talk podcast coming out tomorrow. Another live stream for that, so it's gonna be a lot of as well, which is gonna be a lot of fun. Kind of talking about, and I probably will. And like I said, when the football season comes around, like I said, you're pretty much just gonna be strictly Eagles content. Maybe I will throw a few games here and there. That's not. And Julia goes to takes it deep to right, and that's going to be in the seats for the solo shot. And that's going to be Julian's 8th home run of the year. 6-3. Twins lead the Mariners here in the top of the 4th. So, what? Yeah, like I said, I'm willing to. Like I said, it's gonna be a fun rebuild. But yeah, like I said, Mitchkov. Like I said, but him. I also, God, I'm trying to think who else I wanted because I don't think I never written that down. Definitely Mitchkov was one of them. I did, kind of dabbled here and there, and that's inside for 1 ball, no strikes. Mitchkov was one of them. Never expected Oliver Bonk to be one of them. I actually wanted, boy, there was a few guys that I actually wanted outside of Mitchkov, because obviously defense wise, we were just terrible on defense. Yeah, we know for some reason the last few years our prospect pool has been kind of very thin outside, and then obviously we had a salary dump with Provorov, definitely Kevin Hayes. Even though I don't really hated Hayes, but his contract was just fucking terrible. So fuck you, Chuck Fletcher, for that. So putting how to put this, so we had to pretty much salary dump some guys, and we're definitely going to maybe try to make some trades. Some of the returns we got, especially for Provorov, I mean, well, we have to wait and see if we're definitely going to move on to, and that's swinging a miss strike 2, even to count 2 balls, 2 strikes. But yeah, I agree. It's going to be an interesting rebuild. I'm not really going to be patient with it, but it's going to be interesting to watch see what this Flyers team is going to look once they start getting it going. Once the time for Mitchkov comes in. And obviously, because scoring-wise, let's be real. And that is straight to right center, up against the wall, off the glove. And that's going to be extra bases. That's going to be a triple. That's going to be a triple for Kirilloff. Off the glove of Kelenic. Kelenic. Yeah, the Carter Hart thing has kind of been interesting as well. If we don't move him, build around him as much as you can. If not, if he continues to, well, that's right. If he could, actually, I don't think he was really that bad. Just, I think there's points of interest where he has to stay healthy. And same thing can be said with Cam Atkinson as well, even though it's kind of, I don't know with him. And the line drive foul by Max Kepler. The Minnesota Twins, 41.5% hard hit rate, which is sixth best in the major leagues.
Hard hit rate 6th in the majors. The Twins.
And the 0-1. That's a bit low. 1-1.
Pitch number 85. We're only in the 4th.
And that is in the dirt. 2-1.
There's that cutter. This is down with it in the dirt. He's looking for that ground ball. He wants to keep the ball down. Last 2 starts for Wu. We went 6 innings in each.
And we got, Wu's already up to pitch 86. That's with that strike. That's 80 off that changeup to even the count 2 balls, 2 strikes. And we're just only in the 4th inning. So I don't see Wu lasting about more than 5 innings at the most.
One out runner at 3rd.
And the 2-2. That's chopped on the ground. That's going to be another base hit, and that's going to bring in another run. 7-3.
Here's the throw to second.
And that's going to be a double. So Max Kepler with an RBI double. Another guy that's been kind of in the talks for at the trade deadline. In case of, well, let's bring Minnesota doesn't want to not in playoff contention. Well, then again, who isn't not in playoff contention in that weak ass division? And we got a pitching change. So that is pretty much going to do it for Woo, who, well, just didn't have his best stuff today. So we got a pitching change here, ladies and gentlemen, in T-Mobile Ballpark in Seattle, Washington. So if you're a Mariners fan, and Woo could have gave you so much, but you must gave up 7 runs and not even 5 innings of work. That's concerning. I mean, so, you son of a bitch. That's not what I meant to do. So, who we... So overall, Woo finished this night with 3 1/3, scattered 8 had 7 runs, 6 were earned with 3 walks, 4 strikeouts, has given up 2 homers, and obviously finished with a 4.74 ERA. That's crazy. That's crazy as to see the Rockies, who, well, when I think of the Rockies, sorry to see, but they're just been terrible. Knowing that let's be your owner is, well, shit. I'm sorry, there's no other way to say it. But I mean, I do like Charlie Blackmon. The fact that he's been there the longest. Chris Bryant on paper, if he actually wants to stay, what's good, Jeff? What is good, my dude? But yeah. So speaking with the Rockies, though, I mean, the Rockies over the years, like especially the mid to late 2000s, that's a pretty good teams. It's just they haven't really done it much since then. I mean, Charlie Blackmon's turned out to really be a good, a franchise guy. Chris Bryant, you know what? I'll give you that. You're not as bad as Kansas City. I'll definitely give you that. Even though I will say you have better players, though. I mean, look, I'm just being brutally honest. Like you said, yeah, I saw that. I saw the Blue Jays got their ass whooped. Then again, same can't be said for the but yeah. So Brian Rue, boy, did he got knocked around 3 1/3, scattered 8 hits, gave up 6 runs, or technically 7 runs. 6 of them were earned, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts on 87 pitches. 14 of 22 first pitch strikes at 63.6%. Not great, but we got to call to the pen for Isaiah Campbell, now on the pitch in relief of Brian Woo. And the first pitch, that is swung on a miss, strike 1 at 94 by Campbell. Doop, doop. Boom, 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 boom. And now we got the number 5 hitter with Wallner with a runner on second. The Twins holding a 7-3 lead over the Seattle Mariners, who've been, I guess you could say, kind of took a step backwards from last year. That's been outside of 96, 1 ball, 1 strike. For a team that made the plays for postseason last year for the first time in over 2 decades, which is fucking crazy to believe. And this happens in the kind of season that they're having. And that is a long foul ball into the seats for strike 2. Boy, if you're hanging a breaking ball, they had hit me written all over it. That was the pitch. And the 1-2. That's a bit high at 94. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Matt Wallner, who's 0 for 1 tonight as well. I got a lot of fun tonight. First time back at it again for a late night MLB stream. Angels, my thing still stays the same. That is swung on a miss, strike 3. That's going to be the first strikeout for Campbell. But the thoughts on the Angels overall, I mean, the record is, even though I still can't trust the record, I still think when you're wasting the prime of Trout, and now you're definitely going to let, Ohtani's going to be gone soon. So it's going to be interesting to see. And obviously, I still don't think. I think Artie Mariota should have sold him. Should have sold the team for what it was. And to the first pitch in there to Willie Castro. Overall 2 for 2 with a stolen base with an RBI as well tonight. Takes the first pitch, breaking ball for strike one. But I think the Angels, I still think they're going to be not. I still think they're going to find a way to fall out of playoff contention. Because let's be real, they have not really made the postseason since Trout's rookie year when Trout came up, and that's not saying much for the Angels, because like I said, they're the second fiddle, or in other words, basically in the short term, the little brother of the Dodgers. I always call them the Anaheim Angels. That's where they are. They're in Anaheim, not Los Angeles, but Anaheim. Still does not make a fucking sense to me. But that's just me. Honestly, I'm not surprised that the top 5 are the Braves, Dodgers, Rays, Astros, Rangers. The Rangers is interesting. It depends on the rotation can stay healthy and can they get consistency. Now, because I mean, as of recently, I mean, they've been up and the Rangers have been kind of been up and down. I don't think he will. I think he should have left at the Aussies, but that is strikeout number 2. We're going to the bottom of the 4th, and Minnesota now holds a 4-run lead over the Seattle Mariners. I wish that Trout, will find out could get traded, because let's be real, he deserves better elsewhere. But then again, who wants to take a risk on a guy that's been injury prone for the last 3 to 4 years? I mean, you have a franchise that has made some questionable decisions. I would say, when you had bring in Rendon, which you really shouldn't have, even though let's be real, that contract's looking fucking god awful. Trout made the mistake of not going elsewhere, because the Angels will never be a playoff contender. I'm calling it for what it is. Sorry, Angels fans, but y'all never going to be playoff contenders. You will never will be. Like I said, I mean, you're playing in a tough AL West. You got teams that are better. 2 teams are better than you. You have the Rangers, who got significantly better. Yes, granted, we had even though some of the moves is like it makes you question. You know what? I respect that. I mean, I respect that the Phillies are 7th, even though it's been going on. It's been 15 years. Well, now almost 15 years come October since we won the big one, won it all for the World Series. The Blue Jays, well, that depends on can they get the shit straight. Not the rotation. It's the bullpen for me. That concerns me a little bit, especially the back end for the Toronto Blue Jays. Just because, Jordan Romano has been kind of up and down as of recently. You just have guys that just sometimes it's not really great to say the least. But regardless, we are coming back out of commercial break to the bottom of the 4th, and the Twins, looking to with a victory here, we'll go up 2 games over 500. Yeah, and Alek Manoah kind of struggling as well for most of the first half, as well. That was, I guess, also due to the fact that, I mean, you just add with the pitch clock, even though that's not my thing, but I can't really say much on that. But now the count snowballs in the strike to Ty France. So you have France, Mike Ford, and now H.E. Pollock, and France pops it up. Off the max goes Vasquez, and that is going to go into the seats. So the count's now no balls and 2 strikes to Ty France. Overall, 254, 7 homers, 37 RBIs. But we'll see. Honestly, the Red Sox, I've always had a feeling they were going. That team's always been up and down each and every year. Like, yeah, one year they're up, next the following year they're down. It's like there's no consistency. The Yankees are just constantly playoff chokers. They just never somehow do well in the postseason for whatever reason. And the fact that last year, you want Houston, and let's be real, you should have kind of just ate crow at that point, and you got your ass swept in the worst way possible. The fact you still have Brian Cashman, granted he did make some decent moves this all season, but yet hasn't really shown for it. It's Ty France to deep left. And just short on the warning track for out number one. And just missed the sweet spot at the bat. And that's going to be out number one here in the top bottom of the fourth, caught by Joey Gallo. The Yankees, I'm not surprised they're out. They're not even the top 10 because, I mean, look, think about it. You got Rodon, who's still hurt. And the Dodgers, boy, that's a team that's, I don't know. I mean, especially, yeah, Freddie Freeman's up there at 8. I mean, that team's that's an older team. But regardless, the count's no balls and one strike to Mike Ford, who, even though it hasn't really been great. And that's outside, 1 ball, 1 strike, but does have a base, has a single back in the first. Overall, 269 with 9 homers, 18 RBIs for Mike Ford. And the 1-1, that is, I don't know about that one. That's strike 2, of course, according to the home plate umpire. So 9 home runs this season. His career high is 12, which came back with the Yankees. And, well, let's when you play with the summer. And that has popped up. And as everyone see the movie 42, that's good, like a home playing with a home run and an elevator shaft. I mean, I'm with you on that, Steve. Hey, look, I think for Dodgers fans too, I think another team that because like I said, I even could comment this on one TikTok that I think one TikTok account I came across where they showed a clip of the Phillies sweeping. I would say the Cardinals. I even put comments and that was the moment that we broke the St. Louis Cardinals. If you think about it, you had Yachty finally hang out the spikes after almost 20 years. Yeah, Pujols finally called it a career. And that's high, 1 ball, 1 strike. And the Blue Jays, they're third in the AL East with a 53-42 record so far in 95 games so far this season. But yeah, I mean, shit. I mean, with us taking the series against San Diego, that really really made him really push the sell mode panic button, figuratively speaking. Because I mean, you saw Rougned Odor get DFA'd. Austin Nola got optioned to AAA. I mean, boy, for a team that spent a lot of money this offseason, but has not really shown for it. So that is swung and a miss, strike 3. That is 5 strikeouts for Bailey Ober. So to the top of the 5th they go. Yeah, the Twins still hold 7-3. Go into the top of the 5th, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, so kind of been fun. Yeah, Jose, you ain't wrong. I mean, right now, especially with Atlanta losing a slugfest to the Arizona Diamondbacks, that's kind of saying something. And even though, would it be nice to take the division? Definitely, but I mean, still, I think we're still a wild card team at best. I mean, I think we're missing some, obviously not really much to be a division winner, but like I said, I mean, if it's possible that because we seen it last year where you had 2 teams, were battling out for the division. That was the Braves and the Mets before the Mets actually did what they do best, was choke. Just saying, but I mean, overall, it was a good win though by the Phils. It got a little dicey in some innings. I will have to admit that. But Kimbrel, I mean, boy, top of eating my words. Because or not my words, but it's kind of funny that other fans, the teams that he's played for kind of were, saying something. It's like, good luck with Kimbrel being a heart attack when it happened. Now, yes, Kimbrel had his moments where he was a heart attack when it happened, but still got through it. He's down 16 for 16. And save opportunities. And quite honestly, it feels really weird now the fact we have an actual closer, since what, as of recently, all time we haven't really had a real closer since Brad Lidge, since then, in my honest memory. But as in terms of like the recent, from the past, I would say Jedmore Gomez, and Phillies fans, God, boy, how do I remember that name? Good Lord. Let's go, Eric. Shout out coming to you, doing your Mariners and obviously not looking so good. But you got Campbell already on relief for Brian Wu, and the first pitch is in there for strike one. Swung on a miss by Kyle Farmer. No balls and a strike, and pretty much Brian Wu just was not sharp tonight. As well. And the 0-1, that's been outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Oh, boy. So, overall, 242, 5 homers, 20 RBIs. And that's a bit outside. 2-1. I mean, look, went 3 1/3. I mean, and this is pretty much what his line is from Brian Wu. 3 1/3, 8 hits, 7 runs, 6 of them are earned. 3 runs or 3 walks, 4 strikeouts, 2 homers with a 4.74 ERA. And now the count's now 3-1 on the Farmer, and that is outside ball 4. So overall, that is, as a combined pitching staff, that is 6 walks total issued as a team from the Seattle Mariners. And yeah, they also do the. And it just wasn't. Rafi, you without Aaron, like your Yankees without Aaron Judge are just a lost cause at this point. I'm sorry, that's the way I look at it. Sorry to say this, I'm just being really honest. It is a disaster for the team because y'all just don't have Aaron Judge. Carlos Rodon can't fucking stay healthy, and that's really looking terrible. Boy, yeah, Anthony Rizzo finally with Father Time catching up to him. Josh Donaldson's been kind of hot garbage. It's nuts. And that is outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. To Joey Gallo, who walked back in the third. Then again, that's I mean, look, Rafi's a good guy though, man. And that's gonna be a wild pitch, and that's gonna bring the runner up to second base. Eh, boy, that's just not looking good already. It's kind of ridiculous to say the least. I mean, regardless, but other way, then again, well, the count's now 2 balls and a strike. And the pitch, that's in there on the outside corner for strike 2. Evens the count, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Backdoor slider to even up the count. It's a cutter that he threw in the dirt off of Cal's glove, and then a good slider to come back into the count.
That's popped up, and that is going to be a Canic. I mean, they won so much, but nothing to show for it in terms of, they're just like, okay, so this is the way I look at it. If you wanted like an NFL comparison, they're pretty much like the Dallas Cowboys of the NFL, or the MLB, I should say. Always good in the regular season, but when the postseason comes around, they're nowhere to be seen. Let's keep it real here. That's the way I look at it. And shit, you're going to be one of those disgruntled Yankees fans hating me, I could care less. And the first pitch is high, 1 ball, no strikes at 96. And other final scores around the league, it had the Dodgers beat the Orioles. The Guardians blew out the Pirates 10-1. The Mets barely hung on a 1-run lead to the Chicago White Sox 11-10. Diamondbacks beat the Braves 16-13. Cubs 17-3. Sorry, Nats fans, you are just complete ass. Royals beat the Tigers 11-10, and now currently the Giants and the Reds are now in the bottom of the 7th. It is 11-10 Giants right now, currently in the bottom of the 7th. Now currently with the what do you call it? And that is outside ball 3. See, it looks like held up his swing.
I would say right now, there was a lot. As an old friend would say, those ERAs get blowed up.
And that's popped up, and that's going to be in the seats. Now the count's now full on Christian Vasquez.
Jason Stark or Sarah Langs would come up the last time that happened to have that many double figure. That's pretty remarkable. Double digit scoring. Man, that's a lot. Pitching has seemed to dominate this game lately and then have an explosion like that offensively. 3-2 pitch.
And a 3-2 is inside. Oh, call strike 3. Strikeout number 3. Just look like barely clipped the inside part of this, barely for Campbell.
Pretty good pitch on the outside corner. Big delivery, super bow. Just freezes him inside. And Vasquez does not like it. There's Correa.
Now we got Carlos Correa, and the first pitch is high. One no balls and a strike at 95 by Campbell. And the count. And for those who are just joining me, it is a 7-3 ball game by the Twins. We had, well, Brian Wu not looking the sharpest today. Just gave up a ton of runs. You know, just wasn't really, his command wasn't really there.
He's gonna have to get a new pitch count. Battery dead.
Yeah, you know what? I can't argue with that one.
Last year. It's pretty effective.
I will not disagree with that one bit.
Where it becomes a little difficult is when the pitcher starts to shake because then you have to find a different button. Can take a little bit of extra time. I like what Paul Sewald does. He holds his glove up to cup his ear, make sure he hears it because he wants to work quickly. Yes, no doubt. And he's usually in the ball game when there's a lot more noise going on in the stadium with those last few outs. Looks like they got it ironed out. The way the catcher's covered up too.
And that is swung and a miss, strike 2.
Cal's very dedicated and diligent to covering up with his glove because if you're not trying to steal signs, I mean, you're probably not working real hard. And this game is built on that stuff. Yeah. You're sure if you give it up, people are going to find it. Oh, no doubt. For a while, Cal used to put it in his glove and do it. Now he just keeps it out in his shin guard and covers up. So put it in his glove? Yeah. Wow.
And now you get and the 0-2, and that is a foul ball, and that's going to be a by the laser. Overall.
Hey, what's the fence? Go to this curve. Let's go. Come on. Not that simple anymore. Seriously.
So the count's now no balls, 2 strikes, and the pitch that is chopped on the ground past the glove of Campbell, and that's going to be out number 3. So bottom 5th we go. That's still a 4-run ball game. And that's going to take us to a commercial break for a quick commercial for MLB The Show 23. Even though it's kind of crazy before this even way before this game started, that's kind of what I was pretty much doing. Some gave me some MLB The Show 23. It's just actually been pretty good so far. I actually really enjoy it. You know, it's still the same as the others. Some little updates, you know, just pretty much just roster updates. Kind of crazy that my first MLB The Show game was 2016 when we had Josh Johnson at the time still with the Toronto Blue Jays on the cover. And, well, let's just see how that really got. That's kind of, I would say some parts of it aged well, some of it didn't. Obviously the yeah, boy. But if you're a Boston fan, well, good luck with that because you're down 3-0 to the Oakland A's. So that's just sad. So other scores around the league. It has St. Louis beating Miami. So thank you, St. Louis, even though you guys are still fucking ass. Tampa Bay lost to the Texas Rangers. It's a possibility. Like I said, Alan Roy, and that's the thing too with me. I think what you got to get once you got to like for those who got to know me for a while, it's been mostly baseball first, then pretty much like football second, then basketball, then hockey, then whatever else comes next. But I think in terms of my other secondary sports, I think what else comes second is the WNBA because I did a lot of coverage, especially last year, but I'm doing it more this year as well at the same time. Jalen Pickett, like I said, I don't really watch much of Penn State because that's not my college in terms of in terms of college football. For me, I'm just a Clemson dude. I've been a long time Clemson fan for years, but really haven't really followed much into it. I mean, I've been to a few games here and there. When I used to live down, in South Carolina, I think at the time when I was living here in Aiken County, so that's kind of what you got to know. But like I said, I'll do more of a bit of a different personal stream sometime later this week. Kind of hold like a Q&A, but so overall and Ober right now with five. So overall, 4 in the third, 7 runs, 7 hits, 3 runs, 5 strikeouts, and overall not too shabby. Up to a 2.79 ERA, and with the first pitch at 90 miles an hour for strike 1 to GP Crawford after Caballero grounds out. And that's popped up, and that's going to be easy catch for Craig for out number 2. So Mariners two times to the order. Well, they're showing a lot of guys, obviously with Suarez, accounted for 2 of the 3 runs. Ever since then, since getting that third run, it's been nothing but scoreless from the Seattle Mariners. And right now, over up to 70 pitches, and here's pitch 71, and that is a strike with look like a sinker, and it was or changeup at 83. So no balls and a strike to Eugenio Suarez here in the bottom half of the 5th, and here comes the 0-1. Yeah, it's always been a great program. Even though let's be real, I'm still kind of there were some losses that we had which still pissed me off. Losing Notre Dame, we should never lost, and dropping a huge one against the in-state rival in South Carolina, which, for the love of God, we made oh boy, what the fuck's is that? Who's Spencer Strider? Spencer Rattler, dude, made Spencer Rattler look like fucking Tom Brady of college football. I'm still pissed about that because obviously you had DJ Ugalele, who's been I voiced my displeasure with this kid for the last couple of years, and this dude just could not this is how bad it really was. Most of the season, this dude could not crack 100 passing yards. This dude could not throw a football to save his goddamn life. It's basically okay. The way I could put this is he's like Jalen Hurts without an arm, basically. And that's how that should tell you how far Rattler's kind of have fallen. Yeah, but he torched us last year at the end of the year, and it's and unfortunately, with that loss, we missed the playoffs, and I'm still mad about that because you had an opportunity to really put yourself in that position to actually try to push for the playoffs. Despite the fact, you lost to an unranked team in Notre Dame, who, from what I've been hearing from a lot of diehard college football fans, are have not really done much to show for it. After Brian Kelly left to go to LSU, it's crazy, Steve. In terms of college basketball, it's just usually Nova, but Nova the last couple this year and last year, it's kind of been hard to get into. Because not to say, you don't have Jay Wright and you don't have the guys that I've seen, since 2016, Chris Jenkins, Ryan Archidiakono, who's kind of been a bit of a flop in the NBA, which is kind of sad to say. And I will have to admit it, the dude turned out to be a bust. Even though I can see why he went undrafted anyways. Dante DiVincenzo has done really well for himself. I think he was part of the 2017 class, if I remember correctly. It's just Nova, the men's basketball, it's kind of hard. May not say it, kind of hard to get into as well. And that's not saying much because the women were so much better this year. Obviously with my girl Maddie Seegers, who has been, oh boy, talking about being a scoring machine in her 4 years at Nova. But it's just, ugh. I still have faith in my Villanova men's Wildcats, but just I don't know if we're going to touch what we had in 2016, 20 through 2018 with those types of teams under Jay Wright, well, especially under Kyle Neptune. Not saying Kyle Neptune's a bad coach or anything, just that'll be a fair ball for out number 3. And Kellenak's not happy, and we're going to the top of the 6th. And we're obviously going to a quick commercial break, but yeah. Man, Nova is going to be something interesting to watch this year. I'm going to try to do more XFL content come this next year because I feel like the USFL never really done much like it did a couple of years ago. Like I said, I still got the WNBA to come around. I'll do some other NBA games as well. Like I said, I'm not just going to focus on the Sixers. That's why me and Tyler kind of decided to rebrand it, and because obviously we want to give other teams a chance, and obviously it really showed out with in terms of the viewership, and all that good stuff. But regardless, we're going to the top of the 6. If you're a Mariners fan, yeah, but I won't say you're not concerned, but you got to look at something going forward into that what you're going to be looking at before the trade deadline in August. So we're at the wait and see. And I'm hopefully, if it's not too late, we'll definitely do a live stream for the MLB trade deadline, and we'll see how that really turns out. I mean, like I said, I do like some of this in-season stuff, like the trade deadline. Even this, like the draft, even the drafts and stuff too. I mean, especially the NHL draft. I thought that we did pretty well with that for the first time. Even though we did one hockey. Yeah, cannot wait to see how my Eagles do. And to be quite honest, if you're a Broncos fan, the pressure is not on Sean Payton, but it's on Russell Wilson. I will say in terms of the Broncos, I think they're going to be a good team, but the pressure is on Wilson. If Wilson can't get it done, boy, I think you're going to have to start looking for another quarterback. That's how I look at it. But I think Lesbro, you should have got with Sean Payton a whole lot sooner than bringing in Nathaniel Bum or Nathaniel Hackett, whatever. Couldn't hack it with a damn. But regardless, I can't wait for NFL football. Well, like I said, I'll do most Eagles games this year. Because that's pretty much where I can mostly watch it. But I will definitely try to do some other games as well in the NFL. Yeah, so now you got Saucedo coming in here to start the 6 up with the count, no balls and a strike. And that is dumped into left for a base hit for Edward Julian, who homered his last time up. I just got a piece of hitting. Can't wait. Yeah, the first pitch is low, 1 ball, no strikes. To Alex Kirilloff. And 1-0 is inside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Julian with 3 hits last night, 3 hits tonight already, 1 a home run.
And the one that is swung and a missed strike 2 at 92. So Kirilloff is 4 for 6 so far in this series. The 1-2 that is in there, called strike 3. So that's 1 away here. That's
Saucedo in there for this group of lefties, and you're right. Look at that front hip; in the Mariner dugout right there. No chance to stay on that slider at all. Good pitch from Taylor. Chases Julian back. Julian doesn't run too much. He's too
Well, yeah, that is true.
fly in the first.
Yeah, I mean, for the Broncos, I mean, you always should have low expectations for a team that, well, has gone through many different quarterbacks, it's like changing underwear, but that's in there for strike 1 or 2 to Max Kepler, who's already 1 for 1 with a double, also walked, has a sack fly, and 2 RBIs so far tonight as well for the Twins. Now bumps his average to 217 with 35 RBIs. That is chopped on the ground. And, nice stop by Crawford. That's going to be an infield base hit. That's going to be 2 for 2 for Max Kepler. We got 2 men aboard.
Off the bat, I thought this might be a double play, and then JP had to go to his right.
Yeah, just could not make the clean play. It's a good stop, but just couldn't get up in time. It just lost on the transfer.
Outstanding effort. And then pinch hitter Donovan Solano, right-hand hitter. So Michael Baldelli going to use pinch hit from Walner, a left-hander.
So we got Donovan Solano to pinch hit for Wallner. And the first pitch, that is swung and a miss, strike 1. So Solano is so far this season hit 277 with 4 homers, 22 runs batted in. I can see that. I actually see you guys go 7-10 or 8-9. That is chopped on the ground, and that's going to be for out number 2. However, that moves the runners into scoring position with 2 away here at the top of the 6th.
Take a look at our Corona What's on Tap. Here we go.
So what's on tap for the Mariners? Brought to you by Corona. First wild card contenders. Got 7 games against the Angels, 6 teams against the Astros. Good Lord. 5 games against the Twins, and 3 games each of the Orioles, Blue Jays, and Red Sox will face 6 opponents in 31 days. And the first pitch is outside. 1 ball, no strikes. In terms of the AL wild card, you have the Blue Jays right now, or the Orioles, I should say, right now with the best record of the wild card with 57 and 37. Then the Blue Jays and the Astros, which is kind of surprising to see in the wild card conversation. Yeah, the AFC East is kind of brutal. Now, the NFC North, I think you can scratch away a couple of wins against the NFC North. If you're playing the Bears, that should be an easy win. But if somehow you lose to Justin Fields at the Chicago Bears, boy, that is going to look very ugly. That is swinging a miss, strike 2. Speaking of which, I actually might. And right now, current scoring updates. So you have the Angels beating the Yankees right now at the top of the 8th, 5-1. And Ohtani is 1 for 3 with a triple in that game as well. And the 1-2 that is popped out of play. So, okay. So, according to FBS, so I'm going to right now look at the Broncos. For those who are Broncos fans watching on this besides Steve G. So, I shout out to you been around for a while. Steve Reamer's got a that is on the ground into the left, and that's going to score. That's going to bring in the. And obviously, Kepler will take second. That's right. Castro goes to second, and Kepler could have gone to third, but obviously gone home. And just, well, man. So, for Broncos fans out there, while we got a bit to talk, So if you take away the preseason, you got the Raid. Oh boy, you open up against the Raiders. I don't think that should be a heart. No, that's inside ball one.
11 hits now for Minnesota.
That's 11 hits, 8 runs on 11 hits for the Minnesota Twins. Oh boy! Speaking of the Bears, that's swing and a strike 2.
Success built on pitching. It's not working so far tonight unless the offense really gets in gear in a hurry. Twins 20th in scoring runs per ball game.
That's swung and a miss, strike 3.
And Mariners number 3 overall.
Oh, sorry, that's strike 2. Boy, did I have a blunder there. Whoops. Yeah, shocking there, Jeff. The Angels are actually winning, which is kind of as crazy as it sounds. That's outside 2-2. Oh, speaking of another Broncos fan besides you and with Jeff in the zone of the chat, yeah, I think your Broncos are not going to be bad, but you're not going to be good. You're kind of like right in the middle of the pack, like 7-10, 8-9, somewhere around there. That is top foul. I could see you maybe pulling out a win against the Raiders. It ain't gonna be by much. I think you can see a win against the Raiders, barely pulling out a win against them. Depending on the quarterback play, if Russell Wilson will actually, can show what he is all about, and that's outside 3-2. I can see you guys can beat the Washington Commanders, but I wouldn't be surprised if Washington's defense would have anything to say about that. The Dolphins, I think you guys are going to take a loss on. I think you're going to definitely take a loss on the Dolphins, and that's fallen back. Still holds full on Kyle Farmer, who's already 0 for 2. And the Bears, your October 1st game against the Bears, like I said, you should beat the Bears, but if you don't beat the Bears, boy, like I said, I think NFL fans will laugh at you. And that is fouled off at 95. So still 3-ball, 2-strike count on Kyle Farmer. So 8-3 Twins here, and the pitch, that is low, ball 4. That's going to load the bases with 2 men gone here in the top of the 6th. Boy, this is, yeah, I don't want thing.
They've done a good job of pitching him in with the hard stuff. Especially Brian Wu. You've seen a lot of this slider from the side.
Swings and misses. Strike 1 at 94 by Joey Gallo. No balls in the strike. And the 0-1? That is strike 2. He did go around according to the home plate umpire.
Bases loaded, 2 outs here, top of the 6th. All Minnesota to this point. Home run damage is coming against right-handers.
And the 0-2. That is in there. Call strike 3. And Saucedo gets out of the bases loaded jam. Bottom 6 we go. And we go to a quick commercial break. So, let's see what other WNBA games I actually want. Just mostly for my aces anyways. Logan. Shout out to the 8 that's still sticking with me here in the chat, though. So shout out to every single one of y'all that's been sticking with me here tonight. So, I could do links in Minnesota. honestly, I'm not surprised that the Chiefs, Eagles, Bills, Niners, and Bengals are the top 5 in terms of Super Bowl winning the Super Bowl. That's kind of to be expected. The Chiefs, I mean, it's going to be still the same. Same thing with the Eagles. What's the defense going to look like for Buffalo? What's Von Miller's going to be looking like coming off that torn ACL? Is Damar Hamlin going to go back to form since after that crazy health scare on Monday Night Football? Can the O-line for the Bengals actually protect Joe Burrow? And can the 49ers can actually keep a healthy quarterback? So you got a lot of storylines going into those odds, I would have to say. But Thursday, maybe the 20th. I don't know. Yeah, well. Make it. And we are back. Here on the bottom with the 6th. And the first pitch is swung at a foul back, no balls and a strike. So Bailey Ober, 5 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs all over in the first inning. No walks and 5 strikeouts so far through 5 innings of work. And the 0-1 that has popped up, and that's going to fall right into Kyle Farmer's glove for out number 1. And that was Cal Raleigh. And that swung up, man, talk about a huge hack by Teoscar Hernandez for strike 1. And the 0-1, that's a bit inside. 1 ball, 1 strike to Teoscar Hernandez. Damn, Captain. Oh, well, the Lions in the top 10. Then again, I'm not surprised. Well, so in terms of from 6 through 10, in terms of the storylines and those odds, yeah, Cowboys, like, can he finally make it over the hump for the first time in almost 30 years? I don't know. That remains to be seen. The Jets, can they actually win the division without choking? Can Aaron Rodgers finally put his choking pass behind him? That, honestly, if I had to predict, probably not. The Ravens, they got to stay healthy. It's the same spot with the Dolphins, but the count's not full on Teoscar Hernandez. And the Dolphins, Tua's got to stay healthy. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And the Lions, well, we'll have to wait and see how they play out. Because right now the only other competition you got in the NFC North is the Vikings. But I don't even see the Vikings even winning that division. And I don't see them going back to what the Vikings, what was it, 13-4? I think it was. Yeah, so the Rangers are hot, and you're beating probably one of the best teams in baseball in the Tampa Bay Rays. And to argue, not to really toot my own horn, but currently as it stands, the fact it took one team, and that's my Phillies, to finally actually sweep the Tampa Bay Rays to finally get them. And Teoscar pops it up behind outside the foul territory, and what a circus grab, and make the catch for out number 2 by Al Kirilov. Hey, I mean, it's a good win, a good series win, though. I will have to admit that. They're Arcu, but I mean, not like I said, not to toot my own horn, but we're the only team this year to sweep the Tampa Bay Rays until another team can show they can actually sweep one of the best team in baseball, and that is the Tampa Bay Rays. I'm not I guess, no disrespect to the other teams, but teams that are like and that's a little bit low. 1 ball, no strikes, and obviously too, Arcu. You also the Angels beating the Yankees as well, so that's going to be a lot of And France drives it to her deep right center, and that's going to be caught for out number 3. So 1, 2, 3, go the Seattle Mariners. Yeah, it is hard to play at the Trop, and that place is a piece of garbage. So we're going to the top of the 7th because you have to think about it too. Like with kind of the baseball like this, it's kind of hard to really see, especially going up that towards the catwalks during the daytime. Shit, no, thank you. But yeah, that was always another biggest thing that I always nitpick with the Rays. Like, you should play in Tampa Bay or in Tampa, I would say, even though I don't even know Tampa Bay is not even a real city, but it's called just Tampa. Why the fuck are you even playing in St. Pete, anyways? Like, that's kind of doesn't make sense to me. You're called the Tampa Bay Rays. You should always be playing in Tampa. That's the way I look at it, but that's, they ain't gonna really. What am I gonna do? I ain't saying much for it. I mean, shit. I mean, there were times, and we looked at the first half of the year, we had a hard time playing at Oracle Park. When we played the Giants earlier this year and let's be real, got swept out. And let's just be real, that's when most Phillies fans were jumping off the wagon. And figuratively speaking, anyways, because they think all the season's over after that, even myself included. I'll have to hold my hand to that. But yeah, but we've been playing some better baseball as of recently. Took the series away from the Padres, even though we forced them to go into sell mode after they DFA'd Ronaldo Odor. They optioned Austin Nola to AAA, and now we took game 1 against the Brewers. That was actually a good game, and even though I do have my gripes with JT a little bit, but Stott still continue his, let's be real, his just hit. The dude, this kid just hits. And I love to see that out of a young kid in Bryson Stott. But we're going to, the St. Peter. Oh, I like that. St. Petersburg Stingrays. Yeah, you ain't wrong. Or if you think about it, before they went to the Rays, the St. Petersburg Devil Rays, even though it's still kind of the same fucking thing, but that's besides the point. All right, but we're here at the top of the 7th. It's 8-3. And the first pitch to Vasquez is in there at 93 at the knees for strike 1. So no balls and a strike. And Vasquez, last time up, already over 3. And struck out back at the 5th. And the 0-1, that is low in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike. So tomorrow, you got the Twins and Mariners going at it. You have Luis Castillo going for the Mariners and Kenta Maeda going for the Minnesota Twins. So that's going to be an interesting matchup to see. And the 1-1. And Vasquez lines it foul. Now it's 1 ball, 2 strikes on Christian Vasquez. Not too shabby though, man. It's been we're been here over almost 2 hours 20 minutes, so it's been going by quickly. And the 1-2, that is swung and a miss, strike 3, hung up by Cal Raleigh, who defensively tonight it's not sharp either defensively behind the plate. Oh, what? Damn. Well, it sucks to be a Yankees fan. He said you lost to the Angels. That's not saying much. That is swung and a miss, strike 1. No balls in the strike by Carlos Correa. And the 0-1, that is chopped foul. So now Carlos Correa is already 1 for 4. Now with his 5th plate appearance this evening. Overall on the season with 232 average, 11 homers, 41 RBIs on the season. And the 0-2, and that backdoor breaking ball just completely misses outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Correa. And the 1-2. That is chopped on the ground under the. Oh, nice snag. And a nice tag by Ty France on the back pocket, and Correa doesn't think so. And looks like they're gonna challenge it. I don't know. I don't think he got him. Let's see on the first swipe. Yeah, just barely got the swipe. Okay, I think this call is going to be confirmed, and that's where the Twins are going to lose their challenge on this one.
That's the one where it looks the closest, but it's hard to tell if there's daylight between the glove and his pants. And gets a little lost right there.
Then again, maybe there's not enough to overturn.
Looks like Correa might have an argument.
But we'll see the result of this challenge by the Minnesota Twins.
Two interested parties on the scoreboard to see what their opinion of it is.
Alrighty, so we're. Oh God. Oh boy. Hmm. Hmm. So the call on the field stands. Well, the runner's out at first. Yeah, you ain't wrong. And I got 2 outs here at the top of the 7th. Still, it's an 83 ball game. And the first pitch to Julian is fouled off, no balls and a strike. So already 3 for 4 with a homer and 2 singles and 3 runs scored inside. Got the 1-1. That's chopped on the ground to second. Easy play for out number 3. So 1, 2, 3 go the Twins. And that will take us to a quick commercial break. Oh boy. So we're going to the bottom of the seventh, and still it's a 5-run ball game for the Minnesota Twins. Oh boy. Yeah, you ain't wrong there, Arco. You ain't wrong.
He does have some Irish in him, 38% Irish. He is 12% from indigenous Americas. Italian? No Italian in Ty's blood.
I kind of go over where,
He is not
like, part of where Francis DNA comes from.
Here it is, the moment of truth. Ty France does have some French in his DNA. He's 29%.
So 29% French. Damn, that's it's a possibility. You know, like I said, one guy in particular that's been kind of really talked about most of the trade deadline is Max Kepler. Like, who really wants a kind of that dude's bat? And so now we go to a new arm. So Blasiovic, Blazovic, I think is how you say it. But, and that's hit to right, deep right center. That's going to drop in for a base off the base of the wall, and that's going to be extra bases. And he is safe. Just barely got the tag in there on Mike Ford. So we got a runner in scoring position with nobody out. And the first pitch, that has popped away at 96 for AJ Pollock. Even though, I don't know, man, I think Ty France that's Mike Ford got thrown out, but regardless. And Correa with a strong throw at first for out number one. Still keeps the runner stay put at second base. So Ober went 6 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs, 5 strikeouts on 90 pitches, 24 first pitch strikes at 87.5%, which is a nice number you want to see out of your starting pitcher. Is throw strikes consistently. And that's popped out of play. No balls in the strike. No balls and 2 strikes. No balls in the strike to Caballero after Pollock ground out in his current at bat. Oh, God, my neck. And the 0-1. That's popped up. And that's going to be into short right. And Kepler will make the catch. And then Mike Ford will just scurry right back to second base, not even attempting to go to third on the play. So I got 2 outs here after you get the leadoff man on with a double, even though Ledsboro should have been single with an outfield assist. But like they said, the Twins decided to use your challenge on it, play that. They should just, should never to challenge because they do. But regardless, they wasted it. So now I got JP Crawford, who is 1 for 3 so far tonight. Now up 8-3, and the first pitch is a bit inside at 95. No balls and a strike. So we got 1 ball, no strikes. And the pitch by Blazovic. That's a bit high, 2-0. And the 2-0 pitch by Blazovic is high, 3-0. So it counts out 3 balls and a strike. And the pitch is high, ball 4. That's going to put runners on first and second with 2 men gone here in the 7th. And that's going to get a visit from the pitching coach as obviously. Good old Jack and that's kind of more of a Western, Mid-West Coast thing for Jack in the Box. But regardless. So the Minnesota Twins, 24.8% bullpen K rate, which is good for 8th in Major League Baseball this season. And the first pitch is a bit high. 1 no balls and the strike. So Eugenio Suarez. And the 0-1 is a bit low. 1 ball, 1 strike to Suarez. Shout out to the Twins fans coming in for some late night baseball action. And the 1-1, that has been high at 95. 2 balls and a strike by Blazovic. And Eugenio Suarez did get him on the board with a 2-run shot. And date to left again. That is going to be at the edge of the track for out number 3. And just missed it. And that will take. Well, mostly from not making money on YouTube. So I did have the appeal. I already put in the appeal process. But yeah, since you brought that up, for those who have seen it on the community post, I'm going to reiterate this again. Only way, so there's no super chats at the moment. Obviously we're still temporarily suspended from monetization because obviously with the reused content or whatever the bullshit that the called us for. So I had to put an appeal in. That's going to take about a couple of weeks. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it was just a simple mistake. They can fix that and whatever. And to all my channel members out there, yeah. So right now the memberships are right now on hold for the time being, for the time being. Now, if this doesn't go through, if the appeal doesn't work, so unfortunately, we're going to have to do it the old fashioned way. Is to get the 4,000 hours watch hours back, and obviously reapply come October 15th, 2023. Obviously, if the appeal doesn't work, we have to wait 90 days in order to reapply, unless we still meet the requirements. Is obviously either 4,000 watch hours or 10 million short hours, and obviously I'd rather take the watch hours than anything else, because kind of sucks now because now the payments that have kind of been and I kind of don't like it not making any money on YouTube anyways. But regardless, like I said, I'm not really too upset about it, but I'm kind of really annoyed that you decided to. Yeah, it's a bummer. But the fact that say, oh, you didn't really transform a lot of, fall within the guidelines, which, to be quite honest, the fact that most of the time me and Tyler have been monetized, had this channel monetized, we follow these specific, the guidelines to the T, and yet somehow you decide to catch us, using, like sports, like any like Phillies clips, but yet, like text doesn't really considered, or put like adding text on shorts doesn't count as, transforming the contents. Like it's fucking, it's like 10, like shorts, for Christ's sakes. But regardless, before we got suspended, I decided to just take them down because knowing that, yeah, I had a feeling at some point they were going to get. And besides, like I'm looking around for it. It's just like, first of all, like none of these clips. I mean, I usually just grab them off Twitter, and stuff like that. But whatever. But I'm not really going to. And that's going to be another base hit for the Twins. That's going to be 12 hits for the Twins off of Adcock, who just came in from the Seattle bullpen. Well, I mean, like I said, I'm not really. I'm kind of disappointed that you should have made. Like I said, I think the YouTube's monetization. They really have to. YouTube needs to figure out something with their monetization policies, and actually, and not try to get creators, not try to, and if they're using other clips and stuff like that, and that's a bit high. No balls in a strike by Adcock, to really fuck us over, basically, because who knows how much money that the channel could be making in ad revenue. Not really much, but it's something and stuff like that, which kind of sucks. And and at times I do appreciate the super chats, even though we don't really ask for much. But if you guys do want to donate, I do have my PayPal in the pinned comment or in the description down below if you guys do want to do so. Like I said, me and Tyler really don't really ask for much. We just try to give you the best content as possible. That's just pretty much about it. That's kind of just who we are as human beings, or as just good content creators anyways. And the 1-1 to Kepler. That is fouled back at 96. And Kepler's already 2 for 2 this afternoon as well. So and that is popped out of play, and that's going to stay 1 ball, 2 strikes on Max Kepler, who actually had himself a pretty nice night so far. And the 1-2, that is so fouled back. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
So I listened to the Detroit series too, Dave, but on the foul balls, we saw it last night. Some pesky hitters get to 2 strikes, tough to put them away. Find a way to make contact, just foul it off, and Fight to see another day.
Over 12 right now. I would say under, because right now combined it's 11. Right now it's been 11 combined for 11 runs so far up to this point here on the top of the 8th. Speaking of which, I forgot to actually change. There we go. But yeah, so yeah, we're still holding 1 ball, 2 strikes on Max Kepler. And Kepler to deep left center. And that's cutting around. Tracked down by Pollock for out number 2. Or say for out number 1. So AJ Pollock with a nice grab.
AJ has to go a long way for this one. Big delivery, Super Bowl. See him on the track.
Good catch, though, by Pollock.
Ball hit a long way to left field.
So that's 1 away here in the top of the 8th. And now with Donovan Solano. And the first pitch, that is well, I mean, I think you're pretty much going to get your money's worth because right now it's been under 11. Right now it's combined for 11 runs at the moment. The count, no balls and a strike to Solano. And the pitch, that is a bit inside. 1 ball, 1 strike to Solano. And the 1-1. And count it out to center. Will make the catch for out number 2 here in the top of the 8th. So it's still a 5-run ball game overall for those who are betting. Well, kind of would be sucks. Kind of stinks if some for those who actually took the over. And Castro chops that foul. No balls in a strike. And then I think the next series that the Mariners have to take on is the Boston Red Sox. And the 0-1 by Adcock. That is chopped foul at the plate. No balls, 2 strikes. And here comes the 0-2. That is in the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Willie Castro. So overall, not a bad night for Castro as well. 2 for 2. And also has a stolen base and an RBI as well tonight. And the 1-2. That is on the ground. Nice stop by France, and that's going to be out number 3. So to the bottom 8 we go. It's still a 5-run lead for the Minnesota Twins. So just good defensive stop to maybe even save a run as well. So that being said, it's been a good game so far. Well, if you're a Twins fan. Mariners fans, boy, y'all got some work. You guys some work to do. But like I said, I'll definitely try to cover the MLB trade deadline, so you guys don't want to miss on that. Whenever the start time is for the trade deadline, and we'll see what deals get done and all that good stuff. Like I said, we got a lot of stuff coming in the upcoming weeks and the upcoming months. Not just from the MLB side of things. You got the WNBA with the NFL preseason getting ready to get started. Even though the preseason, I probably won't do much the preseason. But I will definitely would do mostly the regular season anyways. But yeah. But shout out to everyone that's been in the chat though, man. Whether they're coming from YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, and all that good stuff. So shout out to the 2 likes on Facebook, and shout out to the 9 total viewers that is in this stream. Oh boy. Mm-hmm. All right. All right, bottom 8 we go. We're getting close to the home stretch. They're down to almost close to the finish line. With the Twins still holding a nice 5-run lead. So now we got Jarred Kelenic to lead it off for the Seattle Mariners. So it'd be Jarred Kelenic, Cal Raleigh, and Teoscar Hernandez to kick off the top of the 8th. So I got Emilio Pagan to pick. And Kelenic to deep right, left center to the wall. And that's going to just fall short on the warning track. So Kelenic with warning track power. And Pagan, for those who ever kind of see him from his time with the Padres, a little bit of times with the Mariners, this guy's got some really good stuff, can get you up in the high 90s, maybe occasional time will hit triple digits, but mostly sit to mid to high 90s, probably like say 97 to 98, occasional 99, somewhere around there. So we got Cal Raleigh, who's not great, and fouls a pitch back at 96, which a lot of times, that's kind of as low as he can top out at 96. So it's no balls in a strike to Cal Raleigh, who, has not been great tonight, 0 for 3, but had a pop out back in the 3rd, and that's been inside. 1 ball, 1 strike to Cal Raleigh, with Teoscar Hernandez waiting on deck, that number 5 hitter for the Seattle Mariners. And the pitch. That is swung on a miss, strike 2, looking at a splitter. I figured that's what it was. And obviously, with the way that splitters move nowadays, kind of move like a changeup. Especially when I'm talking about this, it's like how some like pitchers would have, most of their fingers like split in between the laces, or sometimes hold it in a way to change your grip and try to pronate afterwards. And the 1-2 pitch, that is high at 97. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And the 2-2, that is swung and a miss, strike 3. That is strikeout number 1 for Emilio Pagan here in the 8th, and it's 2 away. And now we got Teoscar Hernandez. And the first pitch. And it takes a first pitch breaking ball for strike 1 to Hernandez. So far, let's say 1 for 2 this afternoon. And chopped on the ground to third. And Castro with a nice strong throw to first for out number 3. So now we're going to the top of the 9th. We're at the finish. So Twins on 8 with 8 runs, 12 hits, and compared to the 3 runs for the not really looking good if you're a Mariners fan by any stretch of the imagination. But being said, though, but yeah, for those who are taking the under, I think your guys going to get your wish. By the looks of it, alrighty. Oh boy. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh. You know, who cares about 5 energy? But shout out to everyone that's been in the chat, though, man. It's been a lot of fun doing this Mariners and Twins game so far tonight. But overall, though, man, it's been one heck of a game. But you know, mostly if you're a Twins fan, because I think everything has gone right in terms of offensive power. You know, just putting runs together. Where like the Mariners, well, their pitching has been kind of, especially today, mostly their starting pitching hasn't really been good. Well, Brian Wu just was not sharp, but I wouldn't be surprised if Wu had a bit of a bounce back in the next start he takes, which shit happens. But regardless, we're at the top of the ninth. With the Twins holding an 8-3 lead over the Mariners. So from Muckleshoot Casino, the Penn report. So the last appearances for Justin Topa, last 11 appearances, and an 0.96 ERA and 9 1/3 innings pitched, gave up one run, has struck out 8 to 1, and walked only 1. And Adcock to stay in to pitch the top of the ninth. And the first pitch, that's swung on a missed strike 1 to Kyle Farmer. So you got Kyle Farmer, Gallo, and Vasquez, your scheduled hitters tonight. So Farmer's 0 for 2, but also going to have 2 walks to go along with that tonight. And the 0-1, that's a bit inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. So Kyle Farmer already, obviously with an 0 for, dropped his average to 242 on the year. A Farmer to deep left, and see you later, baseball. Well, somebody. That is a 6th home run of the year for Kyle Farmer. It is 9-3 Minnesota. So, Chris, I mean, if you're still here through the Facebook side of things, right now you're still looking good. Man, that went 410 feet. Just did not slide. It just hung. He just drives it. And the first pitch, that is a bit high at 95. 1 ball, no strikes. So it looks like we get a pinch hitter. Who we get pinch hitting for? I'm sorry, that's Joey Gallo. I thought we actually did a pinch hitter. And that has popped back out of play in 1 ball, 1 strike at that time at 96 miles an hour from Adcock. And the 1-1, that's outside 2-1. Oh boy. And the 2-1s at outside 3-1. 3-1 on Gallo, who has a walker tonight as well. That was kind of earlier in this game. And 3-1, that is swung and a missed strike 2. Now it's a full count on Joey Gallo. And the 3-2 swung on a miss, strike 3. That is the first. That's out number 1.
His first strikeout since coming on in the 8th inning. Nice work right there, using that four-seamer off that backdoor slider.
So now we got Christian Vasquez. He is 0 for 3. Has another guy that's in the over 0 for 4 and pops the first pitch foul into the seats. No balls in the strike, and out of that 0 for 4 has a hat trick of strikeouts. With 3 strikeouts. And Vasquez has one career golden sombrero. That was back in April 20th, 2016 against the Rays. And for those who don't know what a golden sombrero is, it's when you strike out 4 times in the game. That is strike 2.
He took a throw from Correa and got the out on Hernandez trying to score in the first inning. And then right after that, he took a throw from right field and got back in time and got the tag. 2 easy calls for Mike Malinsky, the home plate umpire. Yeah, a couple of nice plays at home plate.
So now we got the counts now 0-2. Are we going to look at another second career golden sombrero from Vasquez? And the pitch, that is popped.
Ty's going to take a look.
And that is going to go into foul territory, right into the seats, about like 4 or 5 rows back.
13 hits for Minnesota, 3 runs, 8 hits for the Mariners.
So now the count still holds no balls, 2 strikes.
Minnesota's scored a lot of runs lately.
And Vasquez, like I mentioned before, has one career golden sombrero, which is striking out 4 times in a game. Can we see that here tonight? Well, let's see. And the 0-2, that is fouled back at 98. So a 98 mile an hour fastball, and Vasquez fouls it into the seats.
That's the biggest scoring night as we've had in a long time. All around the majors.
And the 0-2. And that is popped up to left center field. Pollock's under it to make the catch for out number 2.
2 outs.
So Christian Vasquez barely saves himself from another second career golden sombrero. First time he ever done that in 7 years. And now we got the leadoff hitter, Carlos Correa, who is 1 for 5 so far in this ball game. And the first. And Correa to deep left, and that is gone. And Correa. Now it's double digits for the Minnesota Twins. Made that 2 for 6 tonight for Correa. And that is 2 home runs so far, 4. So that's 4 home runs as a team by the Minnesota Twins. And a fastball, or it's like a breaking ball. And a slider, and just got down and drives it into to the left center, over this left center field wall. And for those who have under 14.5 right now, you're still looking okay. I don't know. And now we got Michael A. Taylor after a first pitch to come on as a pinch hitter. And that's a bit inside. 1 ball and 2 balls and no strikes, I should say, to Michael A. Taylor.
Up on the board here in the 9th. 2 outs, 2 count here.
And the 2-0 is low. 3-0. 3-0 on Taylor. Overall, 11 homers, 219 batting average with 28 RBIs. And the 3-0, that's it at the knees. 3-1. And the 3-1, That is swung and a miss, strike two.
One of his better sliders right there. Starts at middle of the plate, runs it off. Really nice pitch.
12 of the 30 teams in the big leagues have scored double figures tonight.
So he counts now full. That freaking goddamn. I don't know, man. Freaking, I had to freaking almost had to click out of another. I actually hit the backspace on my fucking computer. What the hell, man? Whatever, roll to the bottom of the ninth, and it's a, well. We'll have to wait and see, man. Oh, man. I appreciate that, Butterfly. But shout out to everyone that's been in the chat, though. Actually, my dumbass decided to freaking back out of the stream, even though I did not mean to do that. Even though it's whatever. But for those who are having if we still take the over, well, or actually the under, if it's to anyone bet the under, well, it should be fine. Because right now it's currently at 13. No, actually, I'm off tomorrow, actually. So it's good enough for me. So I get to sleep in tomorrow. Well, only for a little bit before I had my show, my Phillies Top podcast, as well. So the other probable pitching matchups, you got Castillo and Maeda tomorrow, and Lopez and Kirby on Thursday. So right now we have Miguel or Cole Sands. Yeah.
2/3 innings, 13 strikeouts for Cole. Mid-90s fastball, curve, and splitter for Sands.
And that shot on the ground. Oh, nice pick by Kirilloff for out number 1 against Ty France. So 1 away here in the bottom of the 9th. Yeah, another guy that's been struggling as of recently.
We saw him hit the changeup to the wall that really the wind knocked out in a big way.
And the first pitch is high and outside to Mike Ford, who's 2 for 3 tonight with a single and a double. Even though it should be 2 singles, however, like I mentioned before, if the Twins didn't use their challenge on the tag play on Correa, and they pretty much just wasted that because Mike Ford literally was thrown out at second base, but somehow was called safe. But it's whatever. And Ford chops it on the ground. Sands will take it himself for out number 2. And now we got A.J. Pollock. The last chance for the Seattle Mariners. Yeah, the offense just kind of sputtered. And that's not great to what you want to see as well. But overall, Pollock 0 for 3 ground out has lasted bad ground. Yeah, Urku, you ain't kidding. The score does not lie. And that is high. 1 ball, no strikes. I know I know Damien, who was in here earlier, actually wanted the Mariners to win, because in terms of the AL Central, but then again, that's kind of a wide open division. And it counts now 1 ball, 1 strike on AJ Pollock. Actually, he's another guy I actually wouldn't mind having in the outfield as well. And that's on the outs. That's a ball. I have never seen a fastball painted, like literally placed on the black and called as a ball. Well, that kind of brings back to my point on bringing the auto strike zone, and that has popped out of play. Oh yeah, the Rangers fine. I'm not really saying much, but you're gonna have to do something at the deadline. And definitely maybe. I mean, look, getting Chapman too before even the deadline. That was a little nice steal for you. For your bullpen, because obviously your bullpen was good. I think it just got better. But yeah, I would definitely say the Rangers would definitely need to go after a starter. I would have to say you guys need another starter to really right now as a temporary replacement for Jacob deGrom. Even though that contract's not really, and that's down to the dirt 3-2, but it's on paper that contract is not looking too good for a guy that hasn't had a full healthy season since 2019. Yeah, you ain't kidding. I would say give you like another starter, and I would say like 2 or 3, and that's going to line up the middle for a base hit for AJ Pollock. So that is the 9th hit for the Mariners here in the bottom of the 9th. But like I was saying, I would say you definitely could use 1 starter, and I'll say probably 2 or 3 extra bullpen arms, maybe. Probably cut your losses with guys that may not really work out in the bullpen, maybe. I don't know. I was about to say, yeah, it definitely, like I said, the starter is kind of obvious. You definitely need that replacement for Jacob deGrom. I think Perez is just fine, even though I'm very surprised he actually returned to the Texas Rangers and it's not actually went to a contender elsewhere. Evaldi, kind of actually really like what Evaldi has done as of recently since going to the Rangers. Looks like he's fully healthy, knocking on wood. And Bednar is another guy and that's 1 ball, 1 strike. It's another guy that I actually have on my list. But like I said, I want to have a separate stream for that for my my Phillies trade deadline plans and the kind of guys that I actually want. It's gonna be a lot of fun to talk about. And that's on the outside corner for strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And the 1-2 to Caballero, that is outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And here comes the 2-2. That's low, 3-2. And the 3-2. That is swung and a miss, strike 3. And that is going to do it. And the Mariners lose it 10-3 to the Minnesota Twins. And obviously, we've got 2 more games coming up as well. So I appreciate anyone who's actually hung out with me tonight. Minus my little mishap. Leaving the stream by accident. So I mean, not mean to do that. But regardless, though, I do, so the Mariners, well, let's just really drop it here. Just boom, 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 boom. There we go. And obviously was not a good night from like Brian Wu, and offense actually wasn't too bad. But mostly in the second half of this game. Oh yeah, I guess I appreciate that. Minus like I said, my little mishap. But yeah, so tomorrow I'll be back at it again for another episode of the Philly Slot Podcast, kind of breaking some stuff down. And then probably have us and do my Phillies Deadlight playing stream probably on Saturday afternoon, somewhere in around that ballpark. So it's gonna be a lot of fun to really talk about the trade plans for my Phillies at the trade deadline. And that being said, it's gonna be a lot of fun, and this trade deadline is gonna be very interesting to watch. And do a coverage up, because it could be interesting. We might be seeing, guys that, we might be expecting not to get traded, be moved. A guy like Dylan Cease, Shohei could potentially be moved. That remains to be seen. Like I said, we'll break everything down when the trade deadline comes, when they get that stream up and going. And then obviously, Saturday as well, you'll see me and the rest of the crew again for AW Collision. Same with the Wrestling Watch Party. So it's not really, nothing changes there. With that being said, I appreciate anyone hung out with me. If you guys do, make sure you hit the like button, also hit the subscribe button. But if you want to, do your own donations, my PayPal is linked in the pinned comment or in the description down below. And that being said, guys, have a good night, everybody.